Well, thanks, Taylor, for taking a few minutes to chat. Really good to see you. How have things been going? I know we're well into this first semester of COVID times. Things are definitely different, obviously, but how have you been finding things? And are you kind of in a bit of a normal groove now, as normal as things could be?
Yeah, so we have been practicing like 5 times a week for the last month and a bit. So I mean, for the most part, like we're pretty used to it. I mean, everything inside of basketball and inside War Memorial Gym is pretty normal for us. But I think, as soon as we're done practicing, we get out and it's kind of like, okay, what can we do and what can we can't do, right? So it's just kind of weird in that aspect. So I would say that it's very different outside of basketball, but within our bubble inside the gym, it's pretty normal.
Is it kind of a nice relief? Like you said, you can go there, things, you feel safe, you're seeing all your teammates. Is it kind of a way to not only obviously work on your skills, practice all that stuff, but just kind of forget about the rest of the crazy world right now?
Yeah, of course. I was actually talking to one of my teammates, Grant Aldu, is like, when we come here, we have one kind of goal, and that's to get better. So it's nice that we have that environment to be around, despite what's going on outside. You know what I mean? So we come in there, we put in the work, we have fun, we play, we go hard, and then it sucks. It's like we get out of it, and it's like, oh, back to this. But it's always like a good feeling, like being on the court again, because I know that a lot of teams aren't able to do that right now. So, I mean, we're blessed enough to be able to do what we love, and regardless of, what's happening in the outside world.
We'll see what things look like in the new year, and hopefully get some games in at some point. But how have you felt that the team is coming together? Obviously, a lot of changes as there are every year, but some new faces. How are things coming along in terms of gelling, getting the new guys in rhythm? How do you see things coming together?
I think it's good. We have a couple new guys. We got Kyle Foreman he's a transfer from Boston U. We have Isaiah from Montreal. He's a rookie. We have another guy named Toby, and he's from Calgary. He's a rookie as well. And we have a couple, like another new guy named Nicola. So we have a lot of like a kind of like a fresh team from last year. And the guys have been good. We've been really close. We hang out within our bubble a lot. You know what I mean? So we get food, we go play ball, we're texting the group chats, and just always trying to be together. And I think we're making the most of what we can do right now. And guys are feeling real comfortable. Yeah, it's just like we can't really do anything socially, but I mean, in terms of the team gelling together, I think myself and Zach Moore and Grant Audu have done a good job of gelling the guys together. We're the vets now. Because I remember when I was a rookie, like how, you'd look to the vets to make sure everyone's together and all that. So I feel like my job right now is to make sure everyone's together on the same page. I think we're doing a great job of that.
What else have you guys been doing, as a team? I mean, obviously that's great. You're able to practice pretty much every day, but earlier on when things were a little crazier, right? When quarantine was sort of in full mode, did you guys have some Zoom stuff going on? Were you meeting with coaches? Are you still doing some of that off the court, or what has that been looking like?
Yeah, so when it was the summertime and like the beginning of quarantine, coach was trying to make sure that we're not just going ghost, and that we had a couple Zoom calls every month. So slowly we had a couple Zoom calls, like for example in like July-ish, kind of August, when we'd kind of get guys coming back to practice and all that. We had a couple Zoom calls, and then it made us a little more comfortable with like recognizing faces and everything like that. And then when we finally came together, I think when we came together in September, when everyone was here, it made it a lot easier for us to kind of like, just have a face to a name and stuff like that, and kind of like recognize who's on our team now, and knowing that, we're going to have to be taking precautions with everything going on, and it's just going to be a different year. So I think us doing Zoom calls in the beginning and kind of slowly gelling together, it's made a huge difference for us where we're at right now.
Now you live off campus, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So is your brother there as well?
Yeah, so we're both at my parents right now, staying in Surrey, and yeah, so it's been nice to kind of be home and be with family and everything like that. But it's obviously at the same time it's kind of weird because during this time we're never home, and it's from going from being home every day in the summer, and then supposed to be leaving in the September, and then it's kind of like, okay, we're still staying here, like, sorry mom and dad, but but yeah, so it's been pretty chill though.
I get it must be so weird because normally this time of year, I mean, your brother and the football team, they'd be, looking towards playoffs, or they'd be in playoffs now. You guys would be into maybe week two now of the regular season. Have you guys been able to kind of support each other in through all of this? Because you're going through a similar thing.
Yeah, no, we have. We recently been going to the gym at the same gym together, so we go to the weight room and stuff like that, and work together on that. But I mean, it's two different sports, so we can't necessarily practice like our sports together. But I mean, we just been talking with each other, just making sure we're doing all right in school and making sure I'm his big brother, so I gotta make sure he's in check all the time, right? So I'm doing my part, right, and making sure he's straight with school and everything like that. But for the most part, we can't. For the most part, like we have like pretty good heads on our shoulders, so I think it wasn't really hitting us too hard. It was just the fact that we had to adjust.
That must help, having a close relationship with your brother, being able to live at home with your parents. Do you think that's been a real help through all of this, just having that close knit family?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we're lucky enough to have a great mother and a great father who opens their arms to us at all times whenever we need it. A lot of people could be struggling in this situation right now, especially people away from home. So it's always nice, and we're very thankful that we have the parents that we do, because they're always willing to help us and give us whatever we need at the time. So
What else have you been filling your time with? I mean, with obviously no games, no travel. You might have a little more flexibility with school in terms of online stuff.
yeah.
So you might have a little more time than you even want, maybe. But what have you been filling that gap with?
Yeah, I mean, aside from school and basketball, I don't know, I've just been kind of working on myself. Just been, you know, doing things. I would say like listening to a lot of podcasts and kind of reading books and going to the gym a lot. I've just been putting a lot of time in working on my body, and the fact that I have all this time to not necessarily be in game shape, because I feel like around this time, a lot of us, not that we like lose weight, but we definitely lose a couple pounds to get into to game shape because we're just running a lot and to making sure we're conditioned and everything. So I've taken the opportunity to really focus on, developing my body, getting stronger, gaining some pounds for the future, because now we have all this time. And I think that it's perfect for anyone. This is a perfect situation for anyone to work on their own and work on themselves, and to maybe find a new hobby or find a new passion in some sort. But for me, I don't know. I just been working out, chilling, hanging out, playing video games here and there, but mostly just working on myself. Yeah.
What are some of your go-to podcasts? What have you been listening to lately?
I've been listening to. Let me search it up. There's this guy I have on Spotify. He's really works on like the mind. So he's called Rob Dial, and it's like the mindset mentor. I've been really into that. Like he talks about a lot of like, how to keep motivated, how to think positive, and all those types of things. So I feel like it's very helpful. I've never really been into that until recently, so it's been helping me a lot, get in the groove and everything, and just making sure I'm always level headed and focused on what's next.
You've talked about, working on yourself, improving yourself, taking time to do things. You have a really positive outlook here. Have you learned some things through all this pandemic and all this about maybe, in terms of priorities, in terms of thinking about your life and things like that? Has there been a positive in that sense from all of this?
Yeah, of course. I feel like this whole situation allows you to kind of take a deep breath and look at everything from the outside. You know what I mean? From the outside in instead of the inside out. I feel like you have a lot of. I think people. Well, for me personally, I realize that I have a lot of control with what I want to do, with how I want to feel, and not having to live so fast paced with the normal life. Pre-COVID, right? So the season ends, we have a couple months off, and then right away we're practicing every other day. I'm getting in the gym, we have to play scrimmages, and then we get back in July, and we have a training camp, and then sometimes we usually go on a trip. So last year we went on a trip, and then, we came back, and then 2 weeks later or like a week and a half later, we had training camp again because we had a scrimmage against a team from the States. So I think right now it's very nice that we can like sit back and kind of analyze everything. And I found that like you're able to control a lot of what you bring into your life, and like you have a lot of control over your emotions and everything like that. So I feel like this whole pandemic has taught me to kind of analyze everything in my life and make sure I'm doing what I need to be doing to get to the goals that I want to have one day. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the most I can take out of it.
Not that I wanted to sound like you're done with UBC just yet, but looking back on your last 5 years, what are some of the biggest highlights? Obviously, you've had a few trips to nationals, including the one at home in your rookie year, right? But what are some of the big highlights that stand out to you?
Yeah, there's so many. I had an amazing time here at UBC. So I want to just go in like chronological order. So like from the beginning, yeah, like nationals, like that was amazing experience right off the bat. Um, and then after that, I would say when we went to Costa Rica with the team, I think my second or third year. That might have been the summer after my second year. We went to Costa Rica. That was amazing. Um, Last year we went to the Jones Cup in Taiwan. Like that was extremely fun. Um, and yeah, just all the camaraderie stuff with the boys. Like definitely gonna miss that the most. When I'm done here at UBC. Um, but the highlight, like basketball wise, I mean, just having fun playing, and winning is amazing. We've had some tough losses as well. Like going through that definitely shapes for the future for me. I think personally, like me hitting 7 threes in a playoff game and making that like a record kind of thing, that was a true highlight for me. I feel like that really set the tone for, kind of like my legacy in a way of like, being the shooter. Everybody kind of knows me as a shooter now. So I think that was a very big highlight of mine. And just being able to play in front of my family, I think that was a huge for me. Because in the process of figuring out my post-secondary options, I was, had an offer to Division One in Montana, and I had, I could have played maybe anywhere in like Canada for the most part, but I chose to stay home, and I felt like that was very important for me, so my family could watch me, and yeah, just to have my family there, always watching. I have a big family. My mom's Filipino, so we have a huge family on her side, especially. So it was nice to have all my cousins out to the games, my aunties, my uncles, and stuff like that. So definitely, that's like a big highlight of mine.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Taylor, for chatting. It's great to catch up, and it sounds like you're doing well. Hopefully that continues here, and hopefully we'll see you on the court again soon.
Sounds good. Thank you for having me.